and then keep playing as hard as you can and keep coaching as hard as you can, and sooner or later good things will happen.
All right, welcome back here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. It's a bye week for the Cougs, so probably Coach is out recruiting. We will talk to him next week. All you Cougs fans, we apologize.
Was last week a bye week?
What's that?
Was last week a bye week?
No, they beat TCU.
Oh, he won.
Beat the snot out of them.
He won what?
But the game was on Friday.
The game was Friday.
That's the key.
Why?
That's the key. I forgot it was on Friday.
Yeah. You didn't.
They scored, too.
What do you mean they scored?
I'll do it, Willie Fritz, if you want. Oh, we were really happy with how we ended up scoring points this time. Helped us out a lot to win the game.
Points help you win games.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and then we made that a priority to score.
I don't know what. Well, I do know what they did different. Zion played.
Yeah. They had a
Well, Zion was playing before that, though. He was switching in and out with Donovan.
Yeah, but he played and, it was his game.
It was his game. And, boy, did he play well. He had he led the team in passing and rushing with 97. Dude can run now.
Yeah,
he can run.
Long touchdown run, too.
Yeah.
Dual-threat quarterbacks. I mean, the great thing about them is you don't have to have an on-day passing to have an impact on the game. If you're a pocket-only quarterback. But I think of this.
Donovan's not, though. Donovan can run. I remember a couple of years ago when they played Texas Tech, Donovan killed him with his legs.
But not like this.
Not like he's a different runner.
Yeah, this is an explosive runner.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this with NFL quarterbacks, too. The runners, the guys who are run first. You know what makes Jaden Daniels so special to me? This may be Reagan. What makes Jaden Daniels so special to me is that he's a good passer from the pocket. Like Lamar is a dual threat who's much heavier run than pass in terms of how good he is. Yep. But Jaden Daniels is like when you can really throw from the pocket, that's like being a shooter. It doesn't just go away. Yep.
Well, the coach is here. Okay, we would love that.
Bye week. We had a bye week, and he's still here.
Yep.
Jimbo would never on a bye week.
No. A lot of coaches won't because they're out. And Coach, I would imagine, Willie Fritz joining us here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Congratulations on the great win. What's this week? We thought you'd be out recruiting right now. Are you?
Well, I am. I'm driving to a high school, so I just I goofed up last week. I didn't want to goof up 2 weeks in a row.
Well, he had a game on Friday.
Yeah, he had the game. We apologized. We tried, and it was game day, so Friday was tough for you, and we realized that. But we're glad that you could join us today. Congratulations on the win. Boy, Zion looked really good, Coach. The offense came to life last week. Must have been a big sigh of relief for you finally seeing your offense start to click.
No, it really was. I thought Zion threw the ball well early in the game. I thought we did a good job of getting him in rhythm, getting a lot of people involved. We had 14 offensive players touch the ball. Running backs, tight ends, receivers, obviously the quarterback. Then he ran the ball well. That play right before half where he ran a quarterback draw, they kind of got everybody out of the box. We had enough to block everybody, and he went 71 yards right down the middle of the field. And I don't know if he saw it or not, but I think he's got the fastest time GPS for offensive players. He went 21.5 miles per hour running down the middle of the field. So he's got great speed. And the other thing I was happy about, he got cramped up real bad in the third quarter, and so we have a big drive in the fourth quarter, and he couldn't go, so we put Donovan Smith in, and he led us on a 7.5-minute drive, and we kind of put the game out of doubt field goal there at the end to make it 30-19. So both those guys did some great things for us.
Yeah.
And, Coach, 4 of your 6 games, you've allowed 20 points or less in 4 of your 6. So defensively, you continue to hold up. You did it again against TCU. They scored 19 against you. You had Oklahoma scoring 16. Iowa State, who's now ranked 11th in the nation, scored 20. I mean, to be able to keep your team, the offense will come around when it comes around. But the defense has done their job in terms of there's been some bend, not a whole lot of break. Can you talk for a second about the job the defense has done from a consistency standpoint?
Well, I think Coach Wood and the defensive staff, those guys they're all real good coaches, and they work extremely hard at it. And we got some good players over there. We're able to roll some guys. Sometimes you don't have that luxury of being able to play, 8, 9 guys on the defensive line, being able to roll 3, 4 linebackers, being able to play 3 or 4 corners and 3 or 4 safeties. So we're playing about 20 guys, 22 guys each game on the defensive side of the ball. And you also utilize those guys in the kicking game, which helps you as well. But they've done an excellent job of tackling, playing with leverage, staying over the top, not allowing big plays, which sometimes is a lot of people's Achilles heel. They play real good defense, and then somebody gets behind them either on the outside or over the middle of the field. So they've done a very good job of playing the basics and then scheming them up, and the kids knowing where they're supposed to be at.
Willie Fritz, brought to you by Chastang Ford and HRP right here on ESPN 97.5, 92.5. Both those guys, Mike Holly, Patrick Chastang, big Coug supporters. So we appreciate them supporting you here on the show, Coach. Coach, how did, I would imagine the guys were hanging their heads a little bit after the previous 2 games where you couldn't score and, shaking their heads. And how do you keep as a head coach? And then you come out with that performance last Friday night. How do you keep guys' heads on straight? How do you keep them motivated when you're going through a rough stretch like that?
Well, it's a life lesson. We're all going to deal with adversity, and how do you face adversity? And it's you just got to give it your best every single day. I talk about it over and over and over again, and I'm very consistent in our message. And I know this is part of building a program, and part of that is installing your philosophies with the guys and how you want to go about work every single day, and practice meetings and how you travel and how you prepare in the locker room and we had a little bit of good fortune early. We haven't had a lot of good fortune. The ball has not bounced our way. We were +4 turnover takeaway, and we fumbled the ball 3 times. They all bounced right back to us. That didn't happen the weeks before. They bounced into the other squad, the other color jersey. So, we just hung in there and kept playing hard the whole ball game, and that's what you got to do. You just got to keep playing. You're not going to get the calls all the time. It's going to happen. We had a couple, I thought was offensive pass interference. They called it on us, touchdowns, and it's going to happen in games. You got to just fight through it and then keep playing as hard as you can and keep coaching as hard as you can, and sooner or later good things will happen.
Coach Willie Fritz with us here, and it is a process. It's a results-driven. Everyone else looks for results. Coaches look for process. From a process standpoint, where are you in your particular process? Do you start to see what you need in a year, or when you look at process, do you really not focus too much on the micro, and do you look at the macro and the big picture at the end of the year?
Well, you look at the big picture for your whole program, every day. But the thing that we've talked about this season, if we want to have success, we got to play well. We got to play smart. I've had teams where I've rolled the ball out and been able to win. And maybe didn't play as well as you were capable of, but your Jimmys and Joes are better than their Jimmys and Joes. We got to play good, and I think the kids understand that. And we had a practice that wasn't fantastic a couple days ago, and kind of stopped practice. And I said, "Hey man, we're trying to go 1-0 two times in a row." I said, what was difficult is, one of the teams I had, we did 26 times in a row. That was tough. One time I had a team we did 16 times in a row. That was difficult. All right, but going hard and doing everything you're supposed to do 2 weeks in a row, that ought to be pretty goddamn simple. So I think they understand that we got to put forth great preparation every single day in order for us to have success and be on the winning side of the ledger.
Willie Fritz with us here on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, brought to you by Chest Tank and by HRP. Coach, it's a bye week. You're recruiting. How are you approaching it with the portal now? You still got to get high school players. Are you getting the kind into the doors, into the living rooms of the kids that you really want to compete in the Big 12? How's it looking?
Well, it's going really well. We're not allowed to, have face-to-face visits with the student athletes right now, but you can go to games. I've got my coaches are out all over the place. Yesterday and today, I went to a couple games. I won't tell you where I was at, but there's a stadium at one end of the parking lot, and there's a stadium at the other end of the parking lot. I think you guys can figure out where it is.
Yep.
And I was able to just walk back and forth and watch both ball games. So, recruiting, you got to be on top of 24/7. And, the portal part, they just finally gave us the dates the other day. I think it's December 8th through December 28th, and then April 16th through the 25th. So you got to wait until that occurs before you can approach it. We want to build this program with high school student athletes, provide a culture where they want to stay year after year after year, so we can develop them on the field, off the field, and in the classroom. So that's our number one priority, but I'm sure we're also going to have to get in the portal as well and at specific positions and provide us depth and also some guys that will have an opportunity to start. So we're looking at all things right now.
Yeah, where do you stand on portal versus recruiting? Because recruiting is how you sustain. Portal is how you, sometimes survive or – it's short-term fixes. It's kind of like the JUCO route, isn't it, Coach? The portal's become the new JUCO. There were some teams that wouldn't do it. Now everyone seems to have to do it a little bit.
Yeah, you really do. If they wouldn't have had the portal when I took the job, we played an extra week than everybody else last year with the conference championship game. And, by the time I got here, school was over at Houston. Kids had already dispersed and gone home. And so I didn't get a chance to talk to a lot of kids. And there were some kids who made the decision to go other places, and which is their right. But without the portal, I don't know what I would have done. I think we had 63 new kids on the squad this year, and about 20 of those were via the portal. So you got to do a good job of finding guys, evaluating guys. The big thing with recruiting is you got to be a talent evaluator, but you got to be an information gatherer, and you got to find guys that are going to fit how you do things, not just schematically, but how you do things on the field, off the field, in the classroom. Last thing I want is to have problems. We're fortunate. High school coaches, they got to take the kids that are in the hallways. We get an opportunity to pick. NFL gets an opportunity to pick. Who they want to have on their team. So you got to do a good job of gathering all the information you can and finding the guys that are going to fit with how you do things.
Do you like the dates, Coach, and finally some rules to this thing as opposed to just the Wild West?
I was talking to Coach Sampson, and he thinks it's crazy that football's got 2 dates. Every other sport's got one set of days that you can get in the portal. Football's got 2. I guess it's to accommodate, post-spring ball is what I'm guessing. And, so we've got 2, and that's a little different. I wish we could have 1, and you had it after your signing date, which the first one will be. That way you're able to, see what you got in high school. And the thing I don't think any of us want, I don't think most people don't want, is you don't want to neglect the high school student athlete. And I think colleges are signing, somewhere around 20% or less high school kids each year because of the portal. They think they're getting immediate, results with these portal guys. And, I'd rather do it with the high school guys and develop them.
Yeah. Did you talk to Coach Sampson about getting on his private jet? Did he get that private jet yet?
I don't know. The difference is people have asked me that is, we get an opportunity to recruit a local, and we can get in the car, and all my coaches drove where they're recruiting, these last couple of days. He recruits nationwide, and so it benefits him a heck of a lot more than it does us. And I understand why he's looking to have help in that manner.
Yep. We'll see if you can get on there. Maybe we'd like to join you on that too if we can. That's great stuff. That's Coach Willie Fritz. Congratulations on the big win, Coach. Have a nice weekend, and then back at it next week against Kansas. We appreciate you. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks, guys. Go Cougs.